everyone. Thank you for joining me today. If you clicked on this channel, it's likely that you are starting a juice business, or you've already started a juice business, or honestly, you might be starting a bakery or a coffee shop or any kind of small food type of a business, and you are trying to figure out, how can I get in front of an audience? How can I market my product? And how can I do that in an affordable way where I don't have to spend a ton of money on advertising and really dive into all those expensive fees up front? And so I'm going to share with you the things that I've utilized over the last 7 years to help grow awareness of my juice bar in my community. So I've got four tips and tricks and places that you can do that. And the first one is going to be at a farmer's market. You can go to have a really good reach because there's people from all over the community coming to that one location. There are likely more than one farmers markets in your community. At least with ours, there are at least 4 different farmers markets, and they're going to all get a little bit of different traffic. So you may want to go to more than one farmers market, and I would definitely suggest trying out the different markets and just kind of seeing which one and maybe all of them are going to be best for you to attend. I do have a video specifically on attending farmers markets, so if you want a deeper dive into that, I'll put a description in the box below so that you can link there and get a little bit deeper into the farmers market. So as I mentioned, the great thing about that, it's going to be a low entry cost to get into the farmers market, and you're not going to necessarily have to dive into a more expensive avenue, which would be a brick and mortar or even a food truck or something of that nature. So it's a really great way to establish a location that you can start telling your customers how to find you and where to go, and you'll be able to really tap into your whole community that way. So the second way that we found a lot of benefit from was going to events. And events could be, I'll just kind of name a few that we did. One was called Zoo Brew, and that was, they had vendors set up at our zoo, and they were all food vendors, and people paid to come to that particular event and sample products from all of the different restaurateurs. And that one was a great way to sample and then also hand people literature and coupons. And I would highly suggest that if you go to an event, to create a specific coupon that they can then utilize either by purchasing on your website or the next time at your booth or wherever it is you're going to direct your customer. That way you can get feedback on if the event was successful or not, because not all events are going to be successful. And it's a little bit of trial and error, just trying to figure out, where your customer is. And so you want to be cautious to that, as well, that, if some events are going to cost more than others, you're obviously going to have some type of fee associated with it to have a booth. And, so I would definitely create a budget and determine, kind of look at the calendar of events that are going to be coming up, and then say, where do we want to put our money? Where do we want to start off with these events? And, you just kind of got a trial and error with that. Now, hold on, let me, I don't want to lose my train of thought here. So as far as events, another one that we did, there was one called Vegan Week, and that was where the website for Vegan Week, they had a Facebook page. And so if you wanted to participate with that, it was absolutely free. And they would list you then as a business that they could go to, vegans could go to. And whether you have a brick and mortar or you don't have a brick and mortar, if you're at a farmer's market, they would then direct traffic to your location. And so that right there was really good for us, because we knew that it was a built-in customer, because, our products are vegan, and so therefore people would be looking for all items vegan within our community. So it was a really great thing to participate in, and it was absolutely free. Another one that we did was called Fort for Fitness, and that was an event that was held downtown. and there were all health and wellness vendors there. And then they had a CrossFit event at that location. And so it was really nice because people were all coming down there. They knew it was a health and wellness event, and whether they were CrossFitters or not, it gave us an opportunity to get in front of all kinds of different folks that were coming down for CrossFit, but then also for other types of health and wellness information. Another one that we did, we also hosted an event. We have it's a cinema downtown. It's called the Cinema Center, and they show all kinds of different films. And so we rented that space out, and then we also we showcased showing Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Now, we did have to pay copyright fees to do so, but it allowed us to bring people in, have them watch a film, which I think is probably of any film that I've ever heard that really gets people into juicing. It's Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And so we thought that would be a really great way to get people excited about juicing. We also used it as an opportunity to sample our products, and it was a pickup location for people that wanted to kick off a juice cleanse themselves. So it was really cool, actually. And then, of course, we catered in healthy foods, hummus and veggies and things like that. And so it was an opportunity to show a really amazing film, and then also let people kind of use that as a catalyst to kick off their own cleanse and just kind of talk about our products. That was one of the very first things that we did when we opened up our online presence and we're at farmers markets. And then another thing that we did, we would sample at different fitness centers. So yoga studios, Pilates studios, just general weightlifting studios where they've, got different types of equipment for, it wasn't always just Pilates and yoga and things like that, but we would do samplings where we would set up our booth and obviously partner with the owners of those establishments and share about our product and our cleanses. And that would be another really great way to get and tap into a clientele, a shared customer. So I will say that of the events, you want to be cautious of the amount that you're spending, and really kind of understanding your customer base. I would say that when we did the event where we showed Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, we were very new, and so we didn't have a lot of followers on our social platforms. And so getting the word out was a little bit harder. And so that one, although I think had we done it later on, once we had developed more of a following, I think that would have been a much bigger successful event. It was quite expensive to purchase the rights to show Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And so I don't know that we really saw the return on our investment there. And I would, probably have done that a little differently looking back. But the good thing is that no matter what you do in the beginning, it's all trial and error, and it really does help you to identify who your market is, who your audience is, and starts to give you an idea of their pain points and how to best share information that's going to be important to them. I will say, when we did the Fort for Fitness, we found that that wasn't really the best event for us either, although we did gain some customers through that event. The folks that were there for the CrossFit, they weren't necessarily in the mindset of looking for juice and cleanses. So again, it's really trial and error. And we did determine that yoga studios, Pilates studios, and gyms that are kind of focused on health and wellness really did tend to be our better events. And then moving on to the third one, kind of piggybacking off the events, is partnerships. And so those yoga studios, the Pilates studios, and gyms, those were really great partnerships that we did, where we would basically work with the owners of those establishments, and we would offer them a discounted rate on our products, and then they then could offer it to their clients, and their clients would sign up for the products, our products. So we didn't stock the shelves of their coolers because that's actually federal regulation. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to sell business to business, but you can sell business to consumer. So the way that we got around that was, rather than selling it direct to them and letting these businesses put it in their coolers and sell it to their customers, we would then have their customers sign up for our items and then drop them off on the days that their customers were going to pick them up. And then, so we still offered the business owners a discounted rate for our products, and then they set the pricing structure that they wanted to sell it to their customers. But we were there, so we transported it, and we were there for the pickup, and that worked out really well. A lot of fitness spaces, or I can speak of one in particular, they were doing a 30-day fitness challenge, and they wanted to kick it off with a juice cleanse. And so it was really nice because we were able to, their customers signed up for the 30-day challenge, and part of that was a juice cleanse. And so we dropped off, we were there during the pickup process. So I would definitely say to reach out to other businesses that are similar in nature to the same customer base, and see how you guys can work together. See what you can do to create awareness. A lot of times they'll be super excited to offer those types of products to their customers. So doing samplings and things like that is really wonderful. And really, again, it helps to expand on getting your community to know where you are and when you're going to be there. Moving on from the partnerships is going to be signage and flyers. And so signage, one of the things that I did that sort of shocked me actually at how well it performed was I got yard signs. And I think we got 30 yard signs. We used a company called Fast Signs, which I think is they're all over the US, but if you don't have a Fast Signs, there's definitely companies that are online that you can order from, or local sign shops that you have in your area. And we just put yard signs all over in areas. Well, this was for our brick and mortar that we did this, and it worked so well. But you could also put yard signs up in areas where you think your customer base might be. So that could be, by a co-op, a health foods shop, a vegan restaurant, things like that. And oftentimes in intersections, you can put signs up. You may want to ask if you're going to put it in someone's specific area, like at a co-op, if, just go in and say, hey, do you mind if I put a sign up letting people know about our business? And we had more people coming in to our shop saying, hey, I saw your sign, than I think any other advertising that we did online, boosting ads and things like that through our social media. So I would definitely suggest doing something like that. It was a low cost to get those signs up and out. And, I saw signs that on corners for several months, so they didn't just pull them out of the ground and take them out and throw them away. So it was really nice. And there was one location we put it in, and the business was nice enough to call us and say, we really can't have this out here. We've got your sign, we don't want to just throw it away. If you want to come pick it up. So it was really cool of them. But I would say if you're not sure, you can always, if it's on a public corner, generally you can throw it in there, and they'll leave it up. The city will leave it up. But if you're not sure, you can always go into the business that it's on the corner of and ask them, hey, if I put this up, do you mind if I leave it up? And if so, is there a certain amount of time that you'll allow me to do so, and then I can remove it so you can get your sign back? So yard signs were amazing. And then as far as flyers, one of the things that we did was we went again to Fast Signs, and there's, Vistaprint is one online that you can use. There's other ones online that are out there that you can get your flyers printed out for, very inexpensively. And then you just go into parking lots and you start putting them underneath people's windshields. We did that. We would go to the YMCA. We went to health food shops. We would go to, trying to think of where, the farmer's market. During different farmer's markets, we would go and put them all over cars. And, honestly, it's a really great way, again, to get in front of people, but you want to really focus on people that you think, or events or locations that you think are already going to be your demographic. And I would definitely suggest doing some work on identifying who you're marketing to, so that way you can identify where you should go and be dropping off these flyers. You'll likely start to discover who your customer base is through just talking to people and going to those farmers markets. Again, I can't stress enough how much I think farmers markets are really fabulous, because you're really directly talking to your consumer and identifying how they feel about your product, your price point, your how much they know or don't know about what you're selling. So again, I would say that all of these things that I've just laid out were very crucial to us understanding our client, our customer, understanding their pain points, and doing it for a very inexpensive cost. It also helped us to start to network with other businesses. Our community here our small business community is amazing. I have found that we're all really supportive of each other, and doing collaborations and things like that is something that our community just really does a great job of doing. And we worked with a boutique. It was called Melly May, and she had a clothing boutique, but her customer base was definitely our customer base. And so even though it might not be a direct, like you think, oh, well, it's not a fitness event or it's not a yoga studio, but you might find after doing, your market evaluation, your brand evaluation, that yes, it might not be an exact, like, hey, they're going to be working out, but their customer may be shopping there. And so getting in front of as many people as you possibly can is great for your early stages of the business. And then I would say to continue to do that throughout, whether you have a brick and mortar or you have a juice truck or something of that nature. Doing these types of things is always going to be beneficial, because it really helps you to understand what your customer is looking for and the questions that they have, because you're going to become very familiar with your product. And because of that, you might start underestimating the things that you didn't know in the beginning that your customer still doesn't know. So for instance, an example of that would be, what is so great about a non-pasteurized cold pressed juice? When I very first started when I started juicing initially, I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't know why a non-pasteurized juice was different than a pasteurized juice and what those benefits might be. Why was I, could go to a grocery store and there might be a cold pressed juice on shelf that was $4 or $5. And then when I went to a local juice bar, they might be $7, $8. And it took some time for me to understand why that was. And now I don't even think about it, because I understand and I know, but I have to keep in mind that my customer might not be as far along in the information as I am. So listening to your customers and understanding where they're at and what their pain points are will definitely help you to better market your product and to develop products that are what the customer wants. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions at all, comments, please put them down in the description or in the comments section below. I would really love to continue to make more videos that could be helpful. And so again, Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate you. And hopefully, I'll keep putting videos out so that we can start a community here. So thank you so much.